in this video, we're going to be talking about holy habits that we can implement to get back on track. So if you are anything like me, you feel like you need to get back on track, kind of get back on the horse because you might have fallen off. Hello everyone, welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name is Melody and I make faith-based content here on YouTube. I post new videos every single Monday and Thursday. So if that is something you're interested in, definitely be sure to subscribe. I would love to have you join the family. So in today's video, we are going to be diving back into the holy girl, holy habit topic. So this is going to be our third episode in this, I guess what we could call it, a series at this point. I will have the first two episodes or videos linked above here. The first video I talked about holy girl habits that have changed my life. And the second video I talked about habits that us holy girls need to stop doing. And in this video, we're going to be talking about holy habits that we can implement to get back on track. So if you are anything like me, you feel like you need to get back on track, kind of get back on the horse because you might have fallen off. For myself, I shared in a previous video, but I got COVID. And once I got COVID, I feel like all of the habits that I had been building up and really just drawing me closer to God, everything just went out the window. I got out of my habits, got out of my routines. And so now I'm in this headspace, especially with 2023 right around the corner, of just wanting to make sure that I'm getting back on track with the Lord. So that's what we're going to be focusing on in today's video. 7 habits that we can implement starting today to get back on track with God. So let's go ahead and hop into it. So number 1 on our list today, the first holy habit that we are going to be implementing to get back on track with God. Now, I just want to go ahead and preface it with saying this one is definitely not revolutionary, but it is impactful. So our first habit today is waking up early. Now sis, hear me out, because if you are a mom like me, I know waking up before your tiny human can be so incredibly difficult, but it is possible. And in those days and those moments where it happens, I know you feel the difference. And now waking up early also is Bible, y'all. This comes from Proverbs 31 verse 15. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop that up on the screen really quick so we can read it together. And so it says, she gets up before dawn to prepare breakfast for her household and plan the day's work for her servant girls. There's really no other way that we can interpret that than waking up early, being diligent with our time. And honestly, it does start with waking up early. As much as it is difficult for myself specifically to do that, I know it's something that I need to do, and I can feel the difference, and I do feel better when I do wake up early, kind of plan the day, but also make sure I'm getting in that time with the Lord bright and early. Now for this to happen, that also means that we are going to have to go to bed a little bit earlier. So we got to keep that in mind, but this is definitely one habit that I think the more we implement, the easier it will be to sustain. So that's our first holy habit. So number 2 on our list, our second holy habit is observing some type of Sabbath. Now the Sabbath is a gift that God knew we needed. And when I say some type of Sabbath, I really want us to take into account the lives that we live, the rhythms of life that we have, as well as the season of life that we're in. So what the Sabbath might look like in my life might look different in your life, might look different in my neighbor's life, might look different in insert whoever's life here. So really taking into account and going to God and crafting and creating what Sabbath rest looks like for you is going to be so important, but not just important, so incredibly impactful. This is something that the Lord's been impressing upon my heart for the last few months. And as I've actually started to implement this Sabbath rest, and for me, we have landed on Fridays being my Sabbath day. Now, this doesn't mean I'm not doing mom things. This doesn't mean I'm not doing wife things, but outside of those two spheres, I'm not doing any other work. And it has been just so incredibly impactful for my personal walk. It's on these days that I'm realizing that I cannot do all the things that I'm trying to do without Jesus. And more than that, it reminds me that I don't want to. If you guys are wanting to dive a little bit more into this concept of Sabbath, I actually have a full 30-minute teaching, a masterclass in my membership club they created for this membership club. It is a masterclass that was released last month. So inside my membership club, each and every month, there is a new masterclass teaching. So this is really deep diving into different biblical topics topics. We've done spiritual disciplines. We've done hearing the voice of God. We've done the Sabbath. We have a lot of things going on in there. There's actually 8 teachings so far, one released every single month. So if you guys want access to that specific masterclass on Sabbath, or to check out all the previous month's masterclass, I'm going to have a link down below for you to join the membership club. So definitely check it out if that's something that you're interested in. All right, now that being said, let's get into number 3. So number 3 on our list, our third holy habit that we are going to be implementing to get back on track with the Lord is fasting. Now, when you hear fasting, you might think, oh my gosh, I can't eat something, I can't drink something, but that's not necessarily the case. When it comes to fasting, you really just want to go to God and ask him, what should I fast from? So for me personally right now, I am fasting from criticism. And that might seem kind of weird, that might seem kind of strange, but for me and my walk with the Lord, that is very applicable to the season that I'm in, and it is something that is pushing me outside of my comfort zone. So right now, instead of criticizing, and this could be anyone, criticizing myself, criticizing my family members, criticizing my friends, whoever, whatever, instead of criticizing, I'm going to God first. So that is the fast that I currently am implementing, and I'm just seeing how day in and day out, moment to moment, I'm drawing closer to the Lord through this practice. And so again, fasting is going to look different for your walk and what season of life you are in, but really going to God and asking him and just kind of surrendering, going to him and saying, you know, what do you want me to fast from? It might be food. It might be a specific food. It might be TV shows. It might be social media. It might be criticism. So go to him, ask what you should do, but this is definitely going to be one of those things that also is a spiritual discipline. So it's a good habit and a good muscle to build as a Christian who, you know, wants to pursue the heart of God. So that's going to be number 3. So number 4 on our list today, our 4th holy habit is going to be moving our bodies. So in essence, honoring our temples by moving our bodies, but we want to move our bodies in accordance with cycle syncing. So cycle syncing, if you guys are not familiar with it, it's a bit of a buzzword right now, but essentially it means just being aware of the hormone levels that you're experiencing each and every month as your body goes through its menstrual cycle. So menstrual cycle, cycle syncing, all of this is something that I'm not just learning about a menstrual cycle, but this concept of being aware of my hormone levels outside of when my period is happening is new to me. And it's something that I wish I knew sooner. So my friend Mayfair has been just teaching me a lot on this subject. And the more that I dive into it and the more that I listen to podcasts, read books, and also just make choices for how I move my body in accordance with where I am in my monthly cycle, I am experiencing so much more joy in the workouts that I'm doing. I'm experiencing so much more ease with moving my body in a way that actually honors what cycle and what natural rhythm it's finding itself in. So for example, you know, let's say a cycle is going to be 28 days. The first part of your cycle, you're going to have more energy. So right after your period ends, you're going into ovulation. This is where you can do more high intensity workouts. You can do strength training, maybe some HIIT workouts, maybe do a long distance run, you know, whatever intense looks like for you. But then the later half of the month, when you go into the luteal phase, this is where you kind of are wanting to do more long walks. You're going to want to do maybe some more stretching, just more low impact workouts. And this is something that's new to me. I always would just try to go to the gym, and if I'm at the gym, I want to crush it. I want to do, you know, intense strength training workout. I want to feel like, you know, I'm being super duper productive in the gym. And I always felt like super duper productive in the gym equated to a HIIT workout or to a really intense strength training session. But by honoring where I am in my cycle, I'm finding that I actually am having more impactful workouts. My body feels so much better by doing this. So I'm gonna have some resources that my friend Mayfair has shared with me down in the description box, but this has been an absolute game changer. And honestly, I feel like when we learn about like periods and things like that, they should teach us this whole cycle syncing concept as well, because it genuinely has just been such a blessing. So I'll have all the resources down below, but that is going to be number 4. So number 5 on our list today, our 5th holy habit actually ties pretty closely with our 4th holy habit. So this habit is going to be understanding our bodies more. So it goes a little bit deeper than just understanding cycle syncing here, but it's really about honoring the natural rhythm of life that the Lord has given us as women. With this concept of understanding our cycle a little bit better, we also are tapping into understanding the rhythm of life the Lord has given us. Just like Jesus had a rhythm of life, and just as Christians we're supposed to have a rhythm of life, as women, the Lord has literally built into our hormones a rhythm of life that we can follow. So it's not just about, doing workouts in accordance with where you are in the cycle. But for myself, I found that after ovulation or during ovulation, right after my period ends, not only do I have more energy to do, higher intensity workouts, but I'm also more creative. So that means, batch filming during this time and really diving into different ideas that I have for my business or for just life in general with God during this time. That also means by, different projects that I have around the house, different things that I want to do with Zoe, this is where I have the most energy to get that stuff done. So this basically means that I'm working with my body and the natural rhythm that God has literally placed inside of me instead of working against it. So that is going to be number 5. So number 6 on our list today, our 6th holy habit that is going to help us get back on track, is going to be guarding our hearts. So when it comes to getting back on track, we're going to need to guard our hearts against the people, the places, the things that cause us to get off track to begin with. Especially in the season of wanting to get back on track, we're going to be sensitive. I think we're going to have to be super mindful and super intentional about guarding our hearts and making sure we are also guarding our minds so that during this time we are really laser focused and have no distractions that cause us to slip back off. Because again, we're trying to do the exact opposite. So just transparently speaking, for me and my walk right now, this looks like guarding my heart against television. I shared in the video that I did about guarding my heart, which I'll have linked above here, that I was convicted and currently have been convicted about not watching reality TV. But when I caught COVID, that went out the window. And so now to kind of get back on track, this is just TV at all right now. We're really just guarding our hearts against television. So I don't think this is going to be permanent, but whatever the Lord wants to do, I'm going to be open to that. But I really just been guarding my heart against TV. Right now I'm only watching one TV show, and it's only when my husband and I can watch an episode together, and it's not reality TV. So that's just really what I'm doing. But again, what it looks like in your life is going to be different, but we really just want to be mindful about guarding our hearts in general. So number 7 on our list today, the 7th holy habit that we can implement as we are getting back on track is choosing hope and surrendering our ideas and asking for God's perspective. So many times when we fall off the wagon or we feel like we need to get back on track, we might have these ideas that we're never going to do it, or that we've fallen so far away that maybe we shouldn't even try to get back on track. But that couldn't be further from the truth. So it's in these moments that we need to choose to have hope. We need to choose that we're going to have hope that we're going to get back on track, that we're going to have hope that we're going to get back to that point that we were before maybe we started drifting. And how we choose hope is really going to God and asking Him for His perspective. His perspective is going to be the truth. His perspective is not going to rely on our feelings. So while sometimes we might feel hopeless and that there's no hope for this, this, and this, that isn't the truth. So by asking God to, 1, renew our minds, and 2, give us His perspective, this will be us fighting to have that hope that the Lord has, fighting to hold on to the truth of what God can do versus what we might feel like in this moment. So that is going to be our 7th and final holy habit. All right, guys, that is going to be it for me. These are going to be 7 holy habits that we can implement when we are trying to get back on track and draw closer to the Lord. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. And now, of course, it is your turn. So in the comments below, I would love to know if you could add habit number 8 to our list today, all about getting back on track. What should the 8th habit be? I have some ideas personally, so I'm gonna go ahead and drop mine down in the comments. So definitely drop yours and take a scroll through. You never know who you could be encouraging. So I look forward to reading through those. And as always, I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Peace.